the Nashville2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.
G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox with another episode of Nashville2. And today, my let me tell you about Nashville2. Nashville2 is all about telling your story. So if you're a business owner, if you're a mentor, if you're a coach, if you've got a story to tell in the Nashville Metro, we'd love to hear your story. So today, my special guest is Dotun Oyewole. Oyewole. I know the pronunciation could be by so many different people, but hey, Dr. Oyewole, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Ed. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thanks for all you do.
Thanks. And you've got a great story, so I want to just dive into it. How long have you been in the Nashville area?
The Nashville area, I've been around here since 2015. So there are about 7 years now.
Okay, wow, longer than me. I've only been in Franklin since December, but I've been working in Nashville for about a year and a half. And you have a clinic up in the Hendersonville area. Is that correct?
That is correct. On West Main Street. It's called iCare Primary Care.
iCare Primary Care?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. And we'll have all the contact details and all the information in the show notes, so you'll be able to see it there. But Dr. Oyewole has a very interesting story. Doctor, why don't you fill us in on what got you to the Nashville area?
Well, so I did my training at Meharry Medical College down in Nashville. So that was what brought me here to Nashville. And I really love Nashville, the Nashville metro area. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I am not going back to where I came from. So I decided to stay here. Of course, when I came to Nashville for residency, I brought my family here, my wife and kids. So we decided we're just gonna settle here because we love it. We love the people. Pretty lovely environment to be in. I would recommend anyone thinking of consider relocating to the Nashville area.
Right, and you spent a bunch of years in the New York area, right?
I did. I was in New York for quite a while as well, before I relocated here for residency.
Okay, and so you came here for your residency, you've moved here, and you've just recently, or when did you open your clinic?
So I opened the practice, the clinic, about a year ago. So okay. April 1st, actually, very interesting. Today is April 1st. Today is the 1 year anniversary of the clinic.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, look at that. April 1st, April Fool's Day. So I won't be playing any jokes on you. You might hear a bad dad joke or two. So that's your year anniversary. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ed. And thanks for having me on this memorable day. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it worked out. So tell me a little bit about what makes your primary care practice different than what other people may be used to.
Okay, well, let me take a little step back. Okay. So I'll come to that. After residency, I went straight to working in the hospital, and I've been in the hospital since I graduated residency. This will be my fourth year actually, working at the hospital. And one thing that made me open a practice was I envisioned a different way of delivering primary care.
Right.
I wanted to be I wanted to be able to set a tune when it comes to the way I deliver primary care to my patients. And what makes us different is this: we pride ourselves in a patient-centered, compassionate care. A patient wants to come to the doctor's office and feel like the doctor cares. They want to feel like you listen, and of course, get their questions answered, solve their problem. That's one thing that I believe we do differently. And in addition to that, with our practice, you don't have to have insurance to get seen. So not having insurance should no longer be a hindrance for anyone to be able to access quality health care. And it only gets better. We don't give a subpar care to you because you don't have insurance. No, you actually get a concierge level care because you do have direct access to your physician through text, voice, and video. All your primary care pretty much is covered. It does not, of course, cover hospitalization, labs, but we do offer discounted labs as well. So labs that you get for like $100, you get it for less than $20 at our practice. I think we've got something great going on, and I believe the more people know about this, the more they know that they have options. I mean, I've been in this situation before many years ago when I did not have health insurance, and when I think about going to see a doctor, it's like, oh my goodness, how will I afford it? And now that should no longer be a concern. Even some people have insurance, and they can afford, even to take care of the cost that comes with it. With the direct primary care model that we have under the membership plan, you don't have any copay, no co-insurance, no deductible. So I believe that's a pretty great offering that we give to our patients, and they get quality care.
And it's a unique proposition that I think is going to be something that becomes more and more popular as insurance companies get more and more difficult to deal with, I feel.
I believe so. I mean, there's quite a sizable number of practices around the country that are beginning to do this. And I believe that the consumer are beginning to understand that they do have options. We still do recommend that people have insurance though, because if you get hospitalized or you have to go to the ER, you need coverage for that, which this doesn't cover. But at least you know that the basic primary care is covered. And the good thing about this is when you have a good primary care, you can prevent a lot of problems down the line.
Right.
Many Americans, for example, have high blood pressure called hypertension, and it goes undetected in many patients for years because high blood pressure usually is asymptomatic. Most patients don't have symptoms. When you start having symptoms, for example, you feel like you're numb on one side of your body, or you start having some swelling in the legs, or you can't talk, then you're beginning to have complications, or you're having headache, beginning to have complications. At that point in time, it's problematic. So what I'm trying to say in essence is many patients do not know that they have this problem. But when you have access to primary care, stuff like this can be detected way early, so you don't end up having the complications.
So instead of just going to the doctor when you don't feel well, you can do a well checkup that's not costing you an arm and a leg and get these things seen. I also read that like 80% of those of Americans, which is you and I too, is diabetes is undiagnosed in 80% of Americans. And I'm type 2 diabetic, and I can tell when it's low. It's not so easy to tell when it's high, because I have a tolerance built up over time when I didn't know I had diabetes. So that's something that you would help out with as well.
Oh, definitely. I enjoy managing diabetes and getting your A1C under control. I mean, I love to do that. Yes, and you are right. A lot of patients also are walking around with diabetes and they don't know. So it is why primary care is very essential. And with the model that we also offer, it's not just for getting your wellness check. That's also included, of course. You have some random questions to ask your doctor. You don't need an office visit to do that.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We take insurance. We see you with insurance, but with the membership model, you don't need an office visit. You send me a text, or wherever your physician is at the practice. You send us a text. We respond to you right away. You don't have to go through the receptionist to get to me. You have a direct access. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's concierge, man. So I love it. And I love being available in that manner as well. You know, I've had several cases, where I've helped patients pretty much in significant ways, just because of the direct access. I've had to come to the office at 9:30 at night one time before to see a patient who would otherwise have ended up in the ER that night. I got his blood pressure under control right in the office, and he's doing good now. So, I mean, I love it.
Yeah, and those stories are great. So let me ask you this. Obviously, for people that want to check you out, I'm sure you have a website that they can go to read more about your program, your availability your available options, and your different levels of concierge medicine. And then also just read a bit about you, because I sort of did some Google research, and everybody's saying rave things about you, which is great. I think all the doctors should have a Google review page where you can hear directly from the patients as to what they're doing. And so a lot of doctors do now, but I love that you've got that out there and available. Where would people go? What would be a good web address for them to go check out more about what you do?
Yes, definitely. And thanks for commending our patients. We love that they're doing a great job in making others know what kind of great care they can get when they see us. For more information, patients can go to iCarePrimaryCare.com, and the first letter is I as in India, iCarePrimaryCare.com. And of course, if they have questions that are still not answered after they review the website, you can always give us a call, 615-239-1845. There's always going to be somebody there to answer their call.
That's great. And so when you're not working, and I love the idea of concierge medicine, I have to tell you that the ability it's no longer limited just to the extremely well off. Those of us in the middle class can now reach out and have access to a doctor like yourself whenever we need to on your different programs, which is exciting. I had a couple of friends that are concierge doctors up in Wichita, Kansas, and just their ability that they were able to provide such a level of care to their patients, just like you said, is something that that's why they got into medicine. That's why they love medicine. And you and I talked a little bit before we started recording. It's the same thing for you as well. That's why you love medicine, being able to help and being able to be there for the patient.
Yes, I do totally agree with you. And you just hit the nail right on the head. You don't have to be very well off to access care now. Our prices are pretty much affordable. I love that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars just to access primary care.
Right.
Primary care is fingertip now.
Yeah, and I would think that a lot of business owners that don't have insurance, especially I've got a big passion for entrepreneurs, right? For people that start a business or buy a franchise. So either business owners or entrepreneurs that are trying their own way in the world to develop and bring in other people to work for them so that they're providing jobs. I think entrepreneurs and business owners are underrated in this country, simply because of all the other benefits that they provide. We talk about Amazon and all the big companies that employ a lot of people, but if we added up all the small business owners that are employing 1 to 10 people, that's what makes up the workforce, is all the business owners. And the business owners now have an opportunity to get healthcare through you that they haven't been able to afford previously, which I think is fantastic.
I mean, that is correct. And we actually are marketing to the small business owners in the community as well. And if they sign up their employees, they do get a discount for doing that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have discounts. They can call us and we'll tell them more about that. And you're right. If you get good healthcare for your employees, there will be less absences. Right. They can live healthier. And we're also open to giving talks, wellness talks at the office. You have your own company physician. I mean, that's awesome. And yeah, and also keep this in mind, the fact that the employees have direct access to their doctors is cool, because you don't always have to miss work to see your doctor.
Right. Exactly.
And we also have telemedicine. You don't always have to miss work. Send your doctor a text, doc, this. I send you a text back. If it's something that requires you being examined, I get you on a video or bring you in person. I mean, however it's appropriate. There are some things I can just take care of by a few texts back and forth. Right.
Well, and like one of the challenges we have is my primary care physician was in Wichita, and I had trouble with, I have an artificial heart valve, and so I had trouble with my warfarin levels because I was eating a lot more salads and had a lot more vitamin K, and it affected the warfarin levels. And he's like, you got to go get an INR and measure what your levels are at. And it was virtually impossible to get in to see any lab or anything for weeks. But if I had you, I would have been able to deal with that very quickly. And then also my wife trying to get a prescription refilled from her doctor in Wichita. He's like, oh, you need to come in for an office visit for me to refill that prescription. She's like, I've been on it for 17 years, like just refill the prescription. Right. And he's like, no, it's an office visit. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just the price of the office visit. Nothing else has changed. So, those are my stories. So I'm looking forward. We've been talking about actually subscribing. So we're going to see if that works.
Oh, yeah, please. I mean, you're welcome, man. I would love to have you on board. And I mean, you are just in the nail right on here. That's members, same day or next day visit. You know, I mean, you don't have to wait weeks and months to get seen.
Right.
In-house, we do that all the time. We draw labs in-house. This is great, Ed, and thank you for giving this platform to let people know about it. I mean, I hope people can see my enthusiasm about this. You know,
right.
I'm so enthusiastic, and I love what I do, and I hope that comes out. You know, in the way I treat my patient. I love this. You know, I love that people don't have to continue to deteriorate at home. Because they can't see a doctor. No, that should not happen anymore. You've got a doctor.
Right, exactly. And so that's what I'm excited about. So, okay, so we were going to get to it before and I got sidetracked. When you're not working, yeah, this is, my wife says, like, I think I'm undiagnosed ADHD because I'm like going off, oh, squirrel, oh, let's go over there. You know, when you're not working, what is it? Tell me something that you like to do, Dotun, when you're not working.
I like to spend time with my family. Would like to take short trips, hang out, go to the movies, eat out when I'm not working. Cycling as well.
With the few years you've been around Nashville, like 7 years now, since 2015, what are some of the hidden gems that you've found around the Nashville metro that you like to check out? Whether that is food, music, movies, parks, hiking trails, lakes, whatever it is. Hendersonville, there is some nice lakes up there. I do enjoy driving around.
I'm telling you, I love Hendersonville. Oh my goodness. Well, eating gem, smashing crab. It's on Indian Lake Boulevard. There's this mall called Streets of Indian Lake.
Okay.
Smashing crab. I love their they call it Perfect Storm. That it's on their menu. Perfect Storm. It's got king crab, some veggies, corn, I believe mushroom if I'm correct, and it's spicy. I love spicy food.
Did you now did you grow up in the US or did you grow up in Nigeria or where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Nigeria.
Okay.
I moved to the US almost 20 years ago now. Pretty much I was already an adult when I moved here. I mean, actually, let me talk about that. I think this is pretty important. So I moved here, almost 20 years ago now, by myself. My parents were back home. I stayed with my cousin for a little less than a year, and then after that, I moved out. Was on my own. Went to school full time. I held 2 to 3 jobs and going to school full time. Can you believe that?
Yep.
Yes. Yes. I really enjoyed it. All of that taught me hard work.
Right.
It taught me perseverance. It taught me humility as well. Because I mean, I've done any job you can think of. Any job you can think. I've worked as a security officer before. I've worked as a cashier before. I've worked everywhere.
Well, I think that it also gives you an opportunity to be able to relate to people on different levels, having done these different jobs. You know, you and I are both immigrants to this country. I love the US. I tell people I'm Australian by birth, but American by choice and Christian by God's grace, right? That is my mantra. And I think the opportunities that are in America for people that want to work hard, and a lot of us work hard. A lot of us work really, really hard. And so I think that is showing the way and understanding the opportunities that are available to us every day in America for every American, immigrant or otherwise. You know, some of us had a choice to be born here, like all my kids were born here, but I didn't have that choice to be born here. One of the luckiest countries in the world. I believe, Doc, that you're Christian as well. Is that true?
I am. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes.
Right. Because I found some stuff. You were involved in a Christian church out in New York, that you were one of the leaders out there. Is that true?
Oh wow, you did some research. Yes,
I did do some research.
Yes, it's called the Redeemed Church of God Chapel of Praise. Down in Far Rockaway, New York. Yes, I was pretty active there. I mean, I love God. You know, I mean that's my first calling actually. Medicine is my second calling.
Right.
No, my first calling is is to humanity, to show them the way. You know, so yes, I am a Christian, and I'm proud to say that I am a Christian.
Right. Yeah, exactly, and that's great. So I found it interesting in doing a little bit of research on you. I don't have a research team or anything, so I just do Google's your friend, right? Google can be your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on the type of person you are. So I'm in the middle of writing a book. It's called Be Authentic. Unless you're a serial killer, then don't be that, change. Right? So the idea is we all have, you know, sometimes it was a better title than saying be authentic unless you're a jerk, you know, because all of us can be jerks occasionally. So, you know, we all have these friends that go, oh, you'll just have to accept me. That's just the way I am. No, if you're not getting where you want to get in life, then maybe you need to change. So be authentic, be the person that you are, unless you're being a jerk. Then you need to change some things about your life. And so I'm just having a lot of fun researching different people that I'm talking to and things about the book. So I found some of the stuff, like you said, my wife's a pharmacist, and for her, working 3 jobs while she was going to pharmacy school, right? From dining room manager at Red Lobster to a server at a Perkins restaurant, to a home caregiver to a young girl with cerebral palsy that she looked after, right? And so she, again, has that range of jobs and learning the humility, because it's not where you want to end up, but she's still having a role that served people all the time. You know, my heart goes out to those guys working in the restaurant industry right now. They can't find enough workers. The ones that are there are overworked. That you can't tip them enough. There's just not enough money to be able to tip them what they deserve for putting up with all the bad customers that they get, because there's not enough employees. So having worked and done that sort of stuff yourself, you can just relate better, I think, to your patients. I
do. I believe in treating people the way you want to be treated. And, you know, I mean, you struck a chord when you dug back to my Christian background, because I believe the totality of who I am today, is informed by my Christian background. You know, I love God. I love to serve Him. I learned a lot from the book of Proverbs. It teaches a lot of wisdom. And I believe that everyone should be treated with dignity and respect. And I bring that into the office. I bring that into patient care as well. And that's what patients are seeing. And they, oh, this guy is different. Well, that's what's different about me. I believe that I should take care of the patient the way I want my family to be taken care of.
Right. Exactly. So we always learned the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you have them do unto you. But I like the platinum rule. The platinum rule says treat others the way they want to be treated. That's the platinum rule.
I love that.
Yeah. So and I only learned that a few years ago because I always said the golden rule, and then somebody said, well, the platinum rule is even better. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm adopting that. Treat people the way they want to be treated. And so that makes us, as a networker, as a person that reaches out and networks with people all the time, in my business, I'm not going to cold call somebody and ask them to buy my product or service because I don't even know if they need it, right? I would much rather build the relationship through a Rotary Club or a networking group or, church or somewhere else, and then say, hey, I have this available. If this is something that you want to talk about, hit me up. Right. And because I want to learn about them, not just sell them a product that they may not need. I only want to treat them the way they want to be treated. And I think from what you've said already, that's the same thing in your practice. You want to give them the care, the dignity, the sincerity, and the time. Right. Well, the thing I keep reading from your patients is that you give them the time required for them to feel, and you said it right in the start, to feel that they were getting better care, because they were.
And also, I believe that 90% of diagnosis is based on good listening. When you listen to the patient and you elicit the appropriate key points, that helps to pin the diagnosis. But when we rush in and rush out, we don't hear what the patient has to say, we'll miss a lot of things.
Right.
And that's crucial. And that's why I spend the time listening to my patients. I love it. It's worked for me. And that was one thing I wanted to do differently. Right. That led me to open the.
Yeah. And that's great. So, okay. So we've talked about one of your hidden gems. Do you have another hidden gem for us, maybe, Doc?
There's a bunch. So my family and I would like to hang out, like I said, on my free time. So there's this place on Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville. It's off New Schackle. It's called Strike and Spare. It's a family fun center, pretty much. It's an indoor amusement park. That's the word, indoor amusement park. They've got arcades, bowling. They got food in there. I believe bungee jump. A bunch of great activities. My kids love it. So
how many kids do you have, and how old are they?
I've got 3 kids, 9, 7, and 6.
Oh wow, great age.
Yeah,
great age.
We go there at least once a month. We love it. We love it there.
That is awesome. So what else do we need to know about iCare Primary Care and you? I think we've covered a lot about you. So tell me more about iCare Primary Care. Not that you can really separate the two, but what else haven't we covered that we need to know about?
I want patients to know that we take insurance. Okay. That's pretty important too. Even though we offer the concierge medicine, the direct membership, we do take insurance. So if you have insurance, give us a call. We'll verify insurance. We're glad to have you on board. You get excellent care. The only extra thing that the concierge medicines and the direct membership offers is the direct access to your physician. But we do take insurance, and we welcome our patients. I believe that patients will find it a great decision, coming to see us. I love to welcome them. Please, give us a call, 615-239-1845, or you can go on the website, iCarePrimaryCare.com.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get that phone number because you with your Nigerian accent, it just like ran all together. But we will have it in the show notes. Don't worry, folks. I got some guy called me the other day, and we were talking. He's like, I can't understand a word you're saying. And I'm like, come on, I've been here 30 years. My Aussie accent isn't that thick. He says, it's an Aussie? What's an Aussie? I said, oh, from Australia. He says, oh, okay. He says, I thought you were from Europe. And I'm like, well, that would be Austrian, not Australian. But the way I say it, I run it all together. You probably can't tell the difference anyway. So yeah, it's interesting. I've got a lot of friends in the Indian.
I love your accent, by the way.
Thank you. I've got a lot of friends in the Indian and Pakistani communities because we all play cricket together. I know Nigeria is more of a soccer country than a cricket country.
We love soccer.
Yeah. So, but it's funny. Sometimes I've got a friend from Afghanistan, and we've known each other since, I don't know, 2010 maybe. So going on 12 years now. And I can't understand him on the phone. That's why I like doing Zooms where I can see the lips move and kind of work out what's going on. And I'm like, look, dude, you got to get off the phone. You got to text me because I can't understand a word you're saying. So, yeah, I think when we're authentic with people, right, when we tell them, because sometimes you'll get on a Zoom call and you'll see somebody looking down at their phone and you go, dude, like, are you paying attention to me or what? And they don't tell you that they're like contacting a friend of theirs to connect you. And so I think when you're being authentic, one of the great ways to tell people is like, hey, just a second, I'm just going to write some notes, or I'm just going to message a friend of mine that I think could really use your service, right? And so that comes back to that authenticity coming through on a person. And that's what I love. When I contacted you through Alignable and reached out and said, hey, I'd love to have you as a guest on the show, you were very authentic and very approachable. And I think that speaks tons for people that come into your practice as well. Okay, I need one more hidden gem. We've done two. We've done the now I've forgotten the crab place. What is that called again?
A smashing crab.
Smashing crab, and we've done the strike and spare. I love arcades and entertainment centers. I've actually got a shirt that's the Gallagher video game. You know, of shooting all the aliens flying down. I've got a print shirt of that, and I've got a Tetris shirt. So I'm a big video gamer. I love hanging out at arcades and popping the quarters. Cool. So what's another hidden gem that you've got? Where do you guys go to church?
So wow, you asked a very good question. So before the pandemic, we attended the First Baptist Church.
Okay.
But the truth is that I do have a calling actually as a minister. Right. And I will be starting a church at some point very soon. So for the past year, we have been having our services at home.
Okay.
I'm thinking of starting like a little Bible study. I haven't really worked out the details of that yet. So So for the past year, we've been doing our service at home. So yes. And that's why I said you struck a chord when you talk about my Christian background, because my first calling is to be a minister. My second calling is to be a physician.
Well, we know the great physician. He was okay with home churches.
Yeah.
So, you know. So hey, that's great. Okay, so home church. Okay, so one more hidden gem, and then we will wrap it up and let you get back to doing what you love.
Yes. So food. It's another food place. Texas Roadhouse.
Oh yes. That
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one particularly is on Glenbrook Way, here in Hendersonville, right across from the mall where you have Kroger's, Target, and Kohl's.
Okay.
It's right by Panera Bread. I love their food, and their food is pretty affordable. I'm like, I asked my wife one day, I'm like, why didn't we find out this place all this while? They've got good food, great food, but yet it's like so affordable. I love it. I mean, I hope they're listening to me. I mean, I love this. I mean, their food. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse.
That's right. Nice.
Can I give you one more?
Go ahead. Yeah. You bet. A bonus one.
So the first time I discovered this place, I'm like, wow. The Regal Cinemas, also on Indian Lake Boulevard, the streets of Indian Lakes, Regal Cinemas. their chairs so convenient, so how do you call it, comfortable. They've got recliner. I love going there as well, to watch movies. So people can check them out if they haven't. Yeah.
So what's your favorite movie genre?
I love gospel movie. I'm not sure if you will call that a genre, but the kind of movies that Tyler Perry does. Tyler Perry.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So Madea, movies along that line, and of course Christian movies too. That are more biblically based.
Right. Yeah. I'm a huge movie buff. In fact, Alice and I, my wife, we've been married 32 years, and that was outside of the sport of cricket. I've got to tell people, I do this almost every show. I'm married to the most wonderful wife in the world, right? And there's a little trademark symbol up there. But one of the things that we used to do is we'd see a lot of movies together, but then there's some movies that she really likes. I am not going to sit through The English Patient or The Notebook. I'm just not going to do it, right? So back in the day, she would go to her movie and I'd go see some. I always had liked Sylvester Stallone action movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies, that sort of stuff. And then the Regal Unlimited card came out, right? And for $20 a month per person, 22 or something, you can go see whatever movie you want. And so I ended up starting to see some Indian movies that were dubbed in English. So being a big cricket fan, they just did an Indian movie called 83, which was on the Cricket World Cup that India won in 1983. And it was great. I was the only white guy sitting in the audience, but I knew all the actors. I knew the characters, right? The cricket players from the 80s, because that was my era. That's what I loved watching growing up as a kid, was the cricket games on TV where India came over and Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And actually, Sri Lanka wasn't playing in the early 80s, I don't think. But you'd have England and South Africa and those guys. And it was just great to see an Indian take on them winning the World Cup and making it into a movie. But the cinema, the Regal card that you can buy, unlimited views of whatever movie as many times a week as you want to go. Man, it just changed my life. Because we were at the movies.
I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, we were at the movies all the time. Whenever we had free time, it's like, oh, let's go check this movie out. Because if it was bad, we could walk out. We didn't feel bad because it didn't cost us any money, right? It's just that subscription model, sort of like what you're doing with your practice too.
Yeah.
Not that we'd walk out, but I'm just saying that the affordability and availability is key. Hey, Doc, great having you on. I keep struggling to pronounce your name in my head anyway.
You're doing a good job though. I mean, you said it very well.
Oyewole. I
Yeah.
kind of feel like I got to sing it, but Oyewole. I did tell you, did I record it when I said it? I said I had some Nigerian friends that I'm like, do I say it like this? They're like, well, he's a different tribe than us, but you can try this. We think it's this. So I kept practicing until they said, oh yeah, that's pretty close. So there you go. Hey, Doc, great having you on the show. I'd love to come by and maybe take you to lunch someday when your schedule allows.
Oh man, Ed, that would be a pleasure. Let me know when. I'll fit in my schedule.
Yeah, we'll talk. We can go to Texas Roadhouse and eat up a steak.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, let's check them out. I mean, you like that. I'll show you my menu. The one I love on the menu.
There you go. Hey, Doc, great having you on the show. Shoot me the email with your bio and all the and the hidden gems that we talked about, and I'd love to get that up on the website. Folks, check out this episode. Check out all the other episodes. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and tell your friends about us. And if you've got somebody that needs to be on Nashville2, send me their info and I'll reach out. Thanks, Doc. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ed. You have a good one as well. Bye-bye.
This is the Nashville2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.